3 in 5 Americans say no one truly knows them. Not their colleagues, not their neighbors, not, in many cases, the people they live with. The World Health Organization says 1 in 6 people worldwide is experiencing persistent loneliness right now. More than 871,000 deaths a year are linked to it. We are in the middle of the loneliness epidemic. And most business owners have not figured out yet that it is also the largest unpriced opportunity sitting directly in front of them. This is Notebook of a COO. Operational thinking. No motivational filler. Let us get into it. The experience economy is not new language, but what is happening inside it right now is new. For the past several years, the business conversation has been almost entirely about going digital, automation, AI-generated content, digital-first delivery. The assumption baked into all of it was that customers wanted frictionless, fast, convenient, screens instead of people. And for a while, that assumption held. Customers adapted. They ordered through apps. They booked through portals. They watched replays instead of showing up live. But something shifted, and it did not shift quietly. The American Psychological Association now says more than 6 in 10 U.S. adults feel that societal division is a significant source of stress in their lives. The AARP says 4 in 10 Americans over 45 are lonely, up from 35% in 2010. Half of American adults report feeling left out, lacking companionship, isolated, often or some of the time. This is not just a public health statistic. This is a market signal, and it is pointing directly at your business. Think about what your customers were doing before they found you. Before 2020, most of them had lives that included regular, involuntary human contact, work, community events, places they showed up to without much thought, routines that put them in the same room as other people on a reliable basis. Then 2 years of isolation arrived. People worked from home, stopped commuting, stopped attending. The social infrastructure most adults relied on, without ever knowing they relied on it, quietly disappeared, and they discovered something they were not expecting. Digital is not the same as real. A Zoom call is not the same as sitting across from someone. An Instagram follow is not the same as a conversation. A 5-star review is not the same as a customer who calls you by name when they walk through the door. When the world reopened, people went looking for what they had lost. Live Nation reported live shows in stadiums up 60% year over year. Americans are expected to spend an average of $10,000 on travel and experiences this year, not because they got richer, because they got lonelier. The demand for real human connection is not going down. Every month, the loneliness data worsens, the premium on genuine in-person experience goes up. Your business is not just a service provider. It is one of the few places left where your customers might actually feel something. Drop a comment. What is the last time a customer told you your business made them feel like they actually belonged somewhere? I want to know what that looked like. So why exactly is this the moment for operators who lead with human connection? 3 reasons, each one structural. Reason 1, the digital wall. 75% of digital advertising is not seen long enough to create a memory. Not because the creative is bad, because the channel is broken. AI is flooding every platform with synthetic content, blog posts, captions, videos, reviews, all of it generated in seconds, all of it optimized for clicks, none of it built around a real human relationship. Trust in news organizations hit a record low of 28% in 2025. That distrust is not staying in the news. It is spreading across every form of digital communication. Customers know what automation sounds like. They know what a template looks like. And in 2026, they are tuning it out. Researchers are now documenting a trend they call friction maxing. Consumers who are deliberately choosing experiences that require them to show up. In-person classes, community events, local businesses where the owner knows their name. This is not nostalgia. This is a rational response to digital overload. The operator who shows up in person is entering a category with almost no competition. That is not a small advantage. Reason 2, the loneliness dividend. People who feel disconnected do not stop spending. They redirect it. Men with no close friends, 5 times more common than in 1990. 5 times in one generation. That is not a trend. That is a structural collapse in the social fabric that most people are carrying around and not talking about. When people feel that invisible, they move money away from things and toward experiences, away from products and toward moments, away from transactions and toward places that make them feel something real. The experience economy is not just surviving, it is accelerating, and operators who position their business as a place of genuine connection, not just a delivery mechanism for a service, are capturing a disproportionate share of that spending. This is a loneliness dividend, the revenue that flows toward businesses that make people feel seen when almost everything else in their life is making them feel invisible. Your customers are not coming to you for the product alone. They are coming because the product gives them a reason to be somewhere with a real human being. Tell me what business you run and whether your customers come for the product or the experience. That distinction is worth a conversation in the comments. Reason 3. The authenticity premium. 63% of consumers say AI makes them value human-made things more, not marginally, significantly. The more synthetic content floods the zone, the more a genuine human presence becomes a scarce asset. That is not sentiment, that is supply and demand. 82% of customers prefer a human customer service representative over an AI chatbot. 8 out of 10. Given the actual choice, they pick the person. 9 in 10 buyers say they need to trust a brand before they purchase. Trust is not built through a content calendar. It is built through a room, through showing up, through knowing someone's name, through the thing that happens when you remember what your customer told you last time and you ask about it when they return. Authenticity in 2026 is not a brand value, it is a price multiplier. The operator who delivers a genuine, emotionally engaging in-person experience is offering something no algorithm can replicate and no digital platform can commoditize. That distinction is worth more right now than it has ever been, and most operators are not charging for it. 3 moves this week. Move 1. Name the human. If your marketing does not feature a real person, you are competing in the wrong category. The logo does not build trust. The person behind the logo does. Your face, your name, your actual point of view is not a vulnerability. It is your only irreplaceable competitive asset in a world where everything else can be automated. Put yourself in the frame. Write in your own voice. Be recognizable. Most operators avoid this because it is uncomfortable. That discomfort is exactly what your competitors are also avoiding, which means the space is open. Move 2. Design for memory. Every touch point in your business should produce a moment the customer can retell. The unexpected detail, the thing you remembered, the recommendation that was actually right, the greeting that said they matter. Ordinary service creates ordinary loyalty. Memorable service creates advocates who bring other people back into the room with them. Walk through your customer experience today and ask one question. What is the single thing that will make this person call someone tonight and say you have to go there? If you do not have an answer, that is the design problem to solve. Move 3. Price the room. Most operators with genuinely strong in-person experiences are underpricing them. They are competing on convenience pricing in a market where the right customers will pay an experience premium without hesitation. If connection, real presence, and emotional engagement are part of what you deliver, your pricing should reflect that. Not every customer will pay it. The right customers will, and those are the customers who stay, who refer, and who do not leave for the cheaper option because you are not competing on cheap anymore. If this episode gave you something to work with, the next place to go is our episode on customer retention and lifetime value. Because getting a customer in the room is one thing. Building the system that keeps them coming back is what compounds that advantage into something the business can rely on. That is where this thinking continues. Link is in the show notes. If your business gives people a reason to show up, you are already ahead of every competitor that does not. Wherever you are, that is exactly where you are supposed to be, but that does not mean you have to stay there. Until next time.